There's a phrase we've all heard, maybe too many times. Everything happens for a reason. Often, it's said in passing, offered like a bandage to someone who's grieving, confused, or questioning the pain they're facing. But in moments of deep suffering, those words can sound hollow. It's hard to believe there's a reason when you've lost someone you love, when your plans have crumbled, when you're sitting in silence wondering if God has gone quiet on you. But here's the truth. Everything that happens to us happens for a reason, regardless of whether we understand it, regardless of whether we agree with it, regardless of whether it fits our timeline, our logic, or our prayers. This isn't just a nice sentiment, it's a spiritual principle rooted in Scripture, tested by saints, prophets, and everyday people who walked through fire and still found God faithful. Let's explore this idea together gently, honestly, and with reverence. 1. There is purpose in the pain, Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. This verse doesn't say some things. It doesn't say just the good things. It says all things. That includes the heartbreak, the closed doors, the mistakes, the seasons of loneliness, the silence, the detours, even the things that feel like failures or divine forgetfulness. They are all part of the fabric God is weaving. You might not see it yet. You might feel like your life is a mess of loose threads. But God is a master weaver. What looks like chaos to us is often the beginning of a beautiful tapestry we'll understand later. Have you ever read a book that didn't make sense until the final chapter? That's how God writes our stories, and He's not done writing yours. 2. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. James 1:2-4. This verse doesn't minimize pain, it dignifies it. It says trials do something. They shake you. They stretch your faith. They chisel your character. Not because God enjoys your suffering, but because He knows who you're becoming through it. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, thrown in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Years of silence, years of questions. But in Genesis 50-20, he looks his brothers in the eye and says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." That's not just forgiveness. That's perspective. That's purpose. 3. Even when it feels random, God is intentional. Proverbs 16-9. In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Proverbs 16-9. We're allowed to plan. In fact, we're encouraged to. But our steps, our real growth, our divine encounters, they're often orchestrated in ways we couldn't predict. You didn't meet that person by accident. You didn't move to that place randomly. That delay wasn't meaningless. Sometimes God redirects us not to punish us, but to protect us, not to confuse us, but to cultivate deeper trust. You may not know why you're in this season, but trust this, God does, and He's not improvising. He's intentional with every second. 4. God redeems what feels wasted. Joel 2:25. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. Some of us look back and feel like we've wasted years in wrong relationships, dead-end jobs, cycles of fear or addiction, seasons where we drifted from God. But there is no wasteland too barren for God's grace. He is the restorer of time. He can make beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, purpose from pain. That job you lost, it taught you resilience. That breakup, it created space for something truer. That season of loneliness, it brought you back to yourself and to Him. Nothing is wasted in His hands, not even your wandering. 5. Suffering often prepares you for what's next. 2 Corinthians 4:17-18. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. To Corinthians 4:17-18. God often allows hardship not to break you, but to build you, not to disqualify you, but to deepen you. There's a kind of strength you only get from struggle. There's a kind of compassion you only learn through your own pain. There's a kind of clarity that suffering brings, a clarity that strips away illusions and idols and lets you see what really matters. If you're in a storm right now, know this: you're not being undone, you're being refined, and what's coming is worth it. 6. God sees the full picture. Isaiah 55:8-9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Isaiah 55:8-9. Sometimes the reason we don't understand why something is happening is because we're trying to see it from the ground, while God is looking from above. Think of a child watching a parent do something confusing, disciplining, withholding, redirecting. From the child's view, it might feel unfair, but the parent sees what the child cannot. They're protecting, they're preparing, they're loving deeply even when it doesn't look like it. God's ways are higher, His view is clearer, and one day you'll see what He saw, and you'll thank Him. 7. You're not alone in the end. Knowing Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. You may not have answers right now, but you do have presence. God's presence. He's not watching your pain from a distance. He's in it with you, sitting beside you, holding your hand, whispering to your spirit, I haven't left. I'm still writing your story. Jesus wept. He suffered. He was misunderstood, abandoned, pierced. So, when you cry out, you're crying to someone who gets it. You're not abandoned. You're accompanied. 8. Your story has redemptive power. Revelation 12:11. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Revelation 12:11. Everything you're going through, every pain, every detour can one day become part of your testimony. Someone else will need to hear it. Someone else will be walking a path like yours, and you'll be able to say, I've been there. Let me walk with you. God doesn't just redeem your story for you, He uses it to heal others. 9. Trusting doesn't always mean understanding. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. Sometimes faith means not having it all figured out. It means saying, God, I don't understand this, but I trust you. It's okay to have questions. It's okay to wrestle, but don't let confusion drive you from God. Let it draw you to Him. Lay your whys at His feet. He's big enough for your doubts and faithful enough to lead you through them. 10. This isn't the end, it's a chapter. What you're going through is not the end of your story. It's a chapter, and God is the author. Don't judge the book by the darkest paragraph. Hold on, keep turning the pages. The plot twist is coming. The redemption arc, the healing, the full circle moment that will leave you in awe. God is still writing, and when He writes, every detail matters. Final words, keep walking. Maybe you're reading this with tears in your eyes, feeling like your story is too messy, your pain too heavy, your path too uncertain. But hear this, you are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, you are not alone, and nothing you've been through is without meaning. Everything that has happened to you has passed through the hands of a God who loves you and knows how to use it for good. So take the next step, even if it's small, even if it's shaky. God is with you, and His purpose for your life is still unfolding. Everything happens for a reason regardless, and someday you'll see why.